We're all searching for happiness, right? It's like this universal human thing. But what if we've been looking in all the wrong places? Today, we're going to dive into the teachings of the spiritual master Paramahansa Yogananda. He had a pretty radical answer to this question in his talks, which he called man's eternal quest.
So right off the bat, he says that meditation is intoxicating. I mean, think about that word. He's not just talking about calming down or being peaceful. For him, this was a profound, overwhelming joy, and that really sets the stage for what he's about to teach us. This isn't just a journey for peace. It's a journey for a deep, lasting, intoxicating happiness.
All right, so where does this journey actually begin? Well, it starts with something we can all relate to. Yogananda calls it man's eternal quest, that constant and, let's be honest, often frustrating search for something more.
Yogananda wants us to really think about something. Have you ever noticed how the very things we chase for pleasure, money, cool gadgets, even simple habits, can start to feel like burdens? We think they're serving us, but before you know it, we're serving them. He calls it being a slave of our habits. It's like that person who gets a splitting headache if they don't have their morning coffee. In the end, all these external things, they just don't deliver the lasting joy they promised.
And this whole cycle, this endless loop of chasing something, getting it, and then feeling kind of empty again, that's what Yogananda says is the core problem. As long as we keep looking for happiness out there, we're pretty much stuck on this hamster wheel, just going round and round and never really feeling satisfied.
Okay, so if the outside world can't give us what we want, what's the real root cause of all this dissatisfaction? Well, this is where Yogananda's diagnosis gets pretty radical. He says we're looking for happiness in the wrong place because we've completely misunderstood the nature of reality itself.
Get ready for this, because his diagnosis is a big one. He basically says this whole world is nothing but a movie, a giant cosmic motion picture. He said that in a state of deep communion, he actually saw it, that his body and everything in nature was just made of pure light, like a divine film being projected by one single consciousness. So you might be wondering, if it's a movie, why does it feel so incredibly real? Well, the force that does that is what he calls Maya, or cosmic illusion. Think of it as the law of relativity that creates all the opposites we experience. Health and sickness, joy and sorrow, winning and losing. Maya is the cosmic special effect that keeps us glued to our seats, completely lost in the drama of the movie. This brings us to a really important distinction. Our everyday reality, the dream, is like the waves on top of the ocean. They're always changing, right? Crashing and reforming, going up and down. That's our joy and sorrow. But underneath all that surface chaos is the ultimate reality, the vast, deep, changeless ocean of spirit. And for a soul who has woken up, that deep ocean is the only thing that's truly real and permanent.
Wow. Okay, so this totally reframes how we look at suffering, doesn't it? Our disappointments, our pain, they aren't just random, cruel punishments. According to Yogananda, the whole point of the movie is to eventually disillusion us. The heartbreak and the struggle are actually built-in features designed to make us finally get tired of the show and go looking for the producer of the film, the great dreamer behind the whole dream. Okay, so if life is a dream, the big question is, how do we wake up? And this is where Yogananda's teachings get super practical. He's not offering a belief system or a dogma. Instead, he offers what he calls a science of the soul. And when he says yoga, he's not just talking about physical postures. He's talking about a scientific method for exploring your own inner world. The whole goal is to move beyond just believing in something and to have a direct, personal experience of it. It's all about proving the truth for yourself so that your spirituality becomes, as he puts it, a scientific certainty. And this science is incredibly down to earth. It's not some vague, mystical thing you have to go to a cave for. Nope, it's a clear, three-step method. Step 1, sit with the correct posture, keeping your spine straight. Step 2, consciously pull your attention away from your 5 senses to get really still inside. And step 3, you concentrate that focused attention inward to connect, to have that communion. That's it. It's a repeatable technique that absolutely anyone can learn. And really, that's the whole point of the practice. It's not about taking his word for it or anyone else's. It's about finding the proof inside your own consciousness. The experience itself is the evidence. And that's what takes you from just having an intellectual belief to having this deep, unshakable, personal conviction.
So what are the actual results of doing this? I mean, how does this practice really change your day-to-day life? Well, it all comes down to one thing: mastering your inner world.
Through this interconnection, you start to develop what Yogananda calls wisdom. And this isn't just about book smarts, it's a fortress. He says there is no greater safety. That complete understanding will bring you to a point where nothing can hurt you. It's like building this untouchable inner sanctuary that protects you from all the craziness and the ups and downs of life.
So, what does a person who's living inside that fortress actually look like? Well, they're a master of themselves. They're free from what he calls sense slavery. You know, all those compulsive habits, the anger, the greed. They're not being yanked around by their emotional reactions to whatever's happening in the movie. They see through the illusion of good and bad, and eventually, they even lose the fear of suffering and death.
And Yogananda really emphasizes this point. He calls self-mastery the sanest way to health and happiness. It is the absolute key to finding a stable, inner peace and a strength that doesn't depend on your job, your relationships, or anything at all outside of you.
And all this self-mastery leads to the final, ultimate goal of the entire quest. It turns out to be the very thing we were looking for from the very beginning, but it shows up in a form we probably never expected.
See, the happiness you find on this path is fundamentally different from worldly pleasure. It's not that temporary high you get when you finally get something you want. He calls it a never-ending state of God peace. And he says it's the only real happiness because, let's face it, everything else will fail you.
And this leads to the biggest revelation of all. The ultimate reality, this God he's talking about, isn't some old man in the sky or some abstract force. It is joy itself. An ever-new, blissful, and intoxicating joy. And to find that inside yourself, well, in his powerful words, that's how you perform the funeral rites for all your sorrows. Just, wow.
So in the end, Yogananda's whole teaching is really just a call to action. He says that living without understanding the purpose of life is just a waste of time. And for him, that purpose is incredibly simple and direct, to find that ever-existing, ever-conscious, ever-new joy that's already inside you. He says it's the most important work we can do. And so he leaves us with one last very provocative question.